And there we go. And now for this next story, we are going out to California in the city of Oakland. You know, a lot of times on this channel, we talk about speeding drivers. We talk about people speeding down the highways, going at incredible speeds. And you also got issues where people speed through local streets without any regard for their surroundings. A couple months ago, we took a look at that situation where in Pennsylvania, they had a little squiggly line to try to stop people from speeding through the neighborhood. In Oakland, California, residents took matters into their own hands to stop speeders. Let's take a look at this.
Up with Sideshows did something when the city would not. Neighbors installed their own speed bumps, but now the city says the fix won't fly. NBC Bay Area's Valina Jones shows us why the solution didn't last and why neighbors are now demanding answers from Oakland.
After years of sideshows in this intersections and complaints to the city, neighbors took it upon themselves to install speed bumps in this area, and it worked. The problem is the city says that's not allowed and ripped them up.
The city going broke and you guys wasting money on this?
No, you guys did this illegal.
That's video of Oakland Department of Transportation crews tearing up homemade speed bumps at East 21st Street and 19th Avenue this week. Neighbors installed them out of desperation 8 months ago after claiming they pled with the city for 4 years to address dangerous sideshows in the area, and nothing was done.
We've had peace for the past 8 months, a hard-won peace. We paid for that peace without labor and money. And then the city overnight took it away without excuse and without notice.
Michael Andemescal and his neighbors spent $3,000 installing the speed bumps. It's a DIY project, Andemescal says the city's DOT director verbally approved last year.
He said they were going to be replaced in 8 years when the street is repaved, right? So we're like, okay, we can work with that.
The city told the group they were removed because they created a hazard. A day later, Andemescal says the sideshows returned.
I just don't understand how that is less of a hazard than having speed bumps, rubber speed bumps.
Councilmember Charlene Wong took over representing the district the day after the removal. The new council member is frustrated residents and her staff weren't warned before the city scrapped the bumps.
Being smart, being resourceful, and the fact that this...
All right, before we continue with this, I want to give you guys some background on Oakland. First off, Oakland is broke. They're a city that's probably going to be declaring bankruptcy here sometime in the next several months. So don't be surprised if Oakland is the next major U.S. city that goes broke. So basically, these residents had issues with people having sideshows in their neighborhood, and they installed their own speed bumps, which, from what I understand, it was approved by the city, but the city doesn't have the money or just didn't bother to put them in place. So they put them in place on their own. Well, funny enough, the city found the money to come in and remove them very quickly. So this is just more of the dysfunction that's coming out of Oakland. Terrible city, poorly run city, about to be broke, like I said. Budget deficit like crazy. The mayor's in trouble up there and everything. So this is the least of their worries, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that when the city won't take action on this, things like this in your neighborhood, that the residents should be able to take matters into their own hands? I don't know.
Instead that, I think that's pretty remarkable.
Wong is working with city leaders to install a city-approved option to stop sideshows.
I have not gotten clarity from the director as to why that decision was made. He has concerns around liability, but there's also the liability of already sideshows have returned.
Okay, well, that's a good point. The liability, if they are owned by, if they were put in privately, then, you know, if something happens to someone's car or something like that, who gets sued, you know how all that stuff goes. But sounds like to me they should, you know, maybe the city needs to work together with these residents. If they were willing to put up the money, then what's the problem? Work together with the residents, put up the money, and get the speed bumps back installed.
He claims they're looking into the issue, but were unable to immediately comment on the removal or how they plan to address street safety in the area. Neighbors say they're prepared to bring speed bumps back if the city doesn't act soon. In Oakland, Valina Jones, NBC.
So it looks like there's a battle brewing about this in Oakland. If the city doesn't do anything, they said they're going to put them right back in. So I'll be following this story and let you guys know what happens here. Oakland, California, a place you don't want to live.